Okay, what we're going to get into today is we're going to get into a safe operation of the table saw. So before we get started, a few rules that we need to get out. Operator must always stay in control of the workpiece. Can never lose control at any point during the process. When you're cutting, in this instance, a board this small, it's under 8 inches. You want to stay to the left of the piece in case of kickback. Less chance of injury. A piece may go by you if it does kick back. Just keeps you in a little safer position. Avoid standing right behind it, because if it does kick back, you're going to get it somewhere in the midsection. Could create a lot of damage. Estimation, piece coming off the saw will be somewhere around 200 kilometers an hour. In a distance of 1 foot, you can't blink fast enough and it's already too late. It's over. You've been hit. So we don't want that to happen to you. They always say to be prepared to shut the saw off if the blade does bind. You may not have time for that, but if you do, definitely shut the saw off. This particular saw doesn't have a splitter or a riving knife on the back of the blade. A riving knife would be a knife that would come up with here and has this type of shape, and it follows the blade. Okay, if not, there's a splitter can be put on the back here. What they're there for is they're there to prevent the piece from coming through the blade on the inside and swinging around the blade. The way the blade's set up now, this can happen, and I'm going to show you a method to get around that and keep yourself safer. In order to do that, make sure your push sticks are close at hand so you don't have to reach anywhere. When you do fire the piece through, okay, what you need to do is you need to take on a small piece like this, you're going to take your forefinger, your index finger, you're going to push it up against the piece. That will keep it up against the fence. And you're going to put your thumb down on top of it. Your thumb is just enough pressure to hold it down so it doesn't come up in the air on you. And just enough pressure that you can actually slide it through. You're going to grab your push stick. You're going to push by hand until it gets onto the table. The reason you do this, if you put a push stick down on it while it's hanging out over the edge, what can happen is the piece can rise up on you and cause injury. So once you're on the actual table like this, push stick. Positioning of the push stick is very important here because there is no riving knife or splitter back here. So what happens is you want to either sit right in the middle of the board, halfway between the fence and the blade, or you want to cheat slightly towards the blade. And I'll do a demonstration out here. So what happens is if I cheat and I come to the right on the piece, you'll see as I push it forward, it will automatically spin. If it does that, it's going to come up the blade and it's going to hit the operator. And what's going to hit the operator, if they're behind it, is this point right here, which will drive your hips back at the same speed as the board's coming at you. Which, unfortunately, natural reaction is for you, if you do get hit, is you throw your hands forward as your hips get shot back. It's a natural reaction. And we only know this because a young fella lost 2 fingers in the shop here on this particular saw because this happened to him. So what happened is basically when the board hit him, it shot the hips back, the hand shot forward and right into the blades and took the fingers across here and just nicked the thumb. So the way to get around that is, like I say, just cheat. If I go right down the center of the board, even in this, I have fairly good control of it. If I'm cheat slightly towards the blade, you'll see that it wants to turn in and keep tight up against the fence. This is one way of keeping yourself safe.